You should be like a solid, like a muscular, healthy 200.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think right now is delicious and perfect. I think the thing about taste.
I don't like delicious.
I don't like delicious.
Sorry, I'll take it back. I'll say yummy. I'm kidding.
If you're listening to this, you are listening to our main feed. You know, if you guys want to listen to this feed without ads, go to Patreon.
You have to listen to our Patreon. That's where we're talking shit. That's where you're hearing the real sex stories. You're getting our real life. If you want to have fun whatsoever, it's like $5, you stupid pigs. Just fucking sign up for it.
That's so true. And also, thank you for signing up for it, and in a kind way.
Or I don't care about it's kind or not, but if everyone keeps signing, we'll post pictures of our dicks, maybe.
Yep.
Maybe.
I'll give it 8. And if
it's
actually,
not fraud if
we reach 100,000 followers on Patreon, I will show hole.
If we get enough, we don't even have 100,000 people listening to the episode. But if we get there, we'll show hole. We'll show Colton's hole.
Yeah.
And Dylan will take his shirt off.
I will not take my shirt off unless I'm making millions of dollars.
100,000 subscribers is $500,000.
Actually, that is true. If we're making that kind of money, the surgeries are already done. Okay. Please, I need my loose skin surgery. Please sign up for the Patreon. If you guys don't do this, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
That's so
JK.
true. Sign up for the Patreon. Yeah, we have 2 series on there. It's the Lost
They
Boys.
can find it there.
No, but
The Lost
we're doing the
Boys.
Lost Boys series. So
if you bomb this, which you did not, you'll be on the main feed. The Lost Boys is everyone who's ever bombed this podcast. We put it up so you can watch them humiliate themselves.
That's the gayest thing I've ever heard, dude. That's such cunty gay guy shit to do that.
We're bullies.
Oh man, you guys are such little bullies. I love it.
Okay. Fine, sign up. Thank you.
Oh.
So, this is bad. Some of this is bad. Some of this is bad. Some of this is bad.
To drag out whores. And it said, Colton, army brat, was a model in Paris. Dylan, used to be 400 pounds. I was like, okay, amazing.
2 things to know.
We have very different claims to fame.
Yeah.
Wait, were you a model in Paris?
Yeah, for a little bit. But it's fine. When you said fashion queen, I go, well, they dressed me.
Yeah.
For sure. They dressed me.
One time we were getting photos taken, and Colton was posing in a way that I was like, oh, you literally look like Brooke Shields. I go, Colton, how are you good at this? And he goes, it was my first job.
I scooped ice cream at Maggie Moo's.
Yeah.
Here at Cannes. Wait, when
Maggie Moo's. I know Maggie Moo's. We had.
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
So that's probably why. Wait,
It was in Colorado. I was an army brat.
Oh, right.
My 2 facts.
As mentioned. So then, did the army take you to Paris, or
No, that was
and
that
face
was
did.
my
the body did?
Yeah.
That was my in college. I went to college in just like in Orange County, and my
Oh.
friend was the face of Abercrombie, and I was like, "Can I do it?" He's like, "It's easy, dude." I was like, "Sure, great."
I mean, you do have a face for.
I couldn't even get them to give me a job application at Abercrombie.
They said Panda Express was down there.
Yeah, they're like the pretzel stands right over there, Peg.
No, we're short on ink.
Yeah.
I am hot though. It is hot in here.
I know. Well, it's okay for me.
Okay, I had to take my mom's dog on a walk. What?
So you're not here for comedy, you're just here for work?
No, I keep coming. My day job is I host like team building corporate, either like workshops or just like I get to be gay. I basically do comedy for corporations. But
Wait, can you give us a little lesson? But not if we're not recording.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Did you get my Abercrombie joke? Thank God. Clip. Wait, you know what
I regret
what I was saying
saying
outside for a
anything
second?
funny when it's not recorded.
I know, it
I'm
sucks
always
I had
bad.
no idea we were recording, so I'm almost scared that I said something.
Oh no. Well, we don't.
No, we'll cut the racist stuff out.
Yeah, yeah. All that stuff you said, we were like, oh no.
Oh God, Jesus.
We're recording now, and then I completely changed my personality.
Yeah. That's happened.
For sure.
I am having this realization that like all these people that you watch online, like we all have day jobs, and you don't realize that when you're like listening to somebody's podcast for like years, and all of a sudden I when you were like, oh, I have a day job, I was like,
I was
what?
confused.
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
was
wait,
confused.
what are we talking about? And then I was like, this is crazy.
It's only recently that I've started to like be more open about it, because some comedians. Let me know. Is this the actual episode for?
Yeah. We just go.
So many comedians are afraid to say that they have a day job, because I think it's like there's the allure of I just do this. But recently I'm like, you know what? That's what makes a lot of people feel bad, because they think that everyone is just successful and you're not. Not to say I'm not or you're not successful, but like I have a day job for now.
That
Which
is,
I heard-
I think that's great, but I also can't live my life around these people feeling bad.
Well, that's true.
Well, also, I heard Jen Kirkman say this one time, and she was like, most comedians, you don't know this, are working blue-collar jobs. She's like, most comedians are blue-collar. You just don't realize it.
Yeah.
Or in a
I mean,
working
I'm
class.
I'm not.
Well,
You're a
blue-collar.
Parisian
He's
model.
not. He's not. Yeah, he used to be a model. Things are
I
very different.
sometimes I have too much free time.
Do you not have a day job?
No.
And I did have a day job, but the restaurant I worked at closed, so I'm currently on unemployment.
Well, Mazel Tov
Well,
to you.
I
thank you.
got an OnlyFans.
Yeah,
Is that a day job?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens during the day a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I worked at a restaurant that closed down because of Hurricane Sandy, and I was so sad for the lives lost and the houses blown. But bitch, I was thrilled to get unemployment.
Oh yeah, it's incredible. I've never had it before, and I was like, this is really the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Well,
What
yeah.
sucks about those things, Sandy and such like that, big moment for some people. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
So
I know that they were
a
hurricanes. and
hurricane
lots
is
of
when
names.
water.
Right.
But
But what's the one that just hit Florida?
Oh, girl.
Right. Exactly. Big moment for those people though.
Milton.
Both of them. It was within 2 weeks.
Colleen.
Helene.
Right.
It's
but
like
it was
Helen,
such a
but-
big
but-
moment for
oh,
those
but
people.
European.
And like it got weirdly Republican. I was like, when are like hurricanes getting Republican?
I love when people start fighting online about like, wow, I can't believe they're not evacuating. I go, why don't we all just not comment on what other people are doing? It's none of your business if someone doesn't want to evacuate.
Well, and then there's also the question of like Jews or Democrats making the hurricanes happen.
Yeah, yeah. He's in Austin.
I'm actually on shore. I'm doing a hurricane in Miami.
yeah, of course. That's so good.
Are you actually on OnlyFans?
Yeah.
And what's your niche? If you have one, or are you just showing whole? What are we doing?
You just do pictures, right?
I don't know anymore because I can't interact with that energy of people just being like, come for me, you little fucking pig. So I actually don't talk on there. My husband does. So anything my husband asks for, and it becomes like a little game between me and my husband where it's like, I think I'm that page is basically a reflection of what my husband likes about me.
I'm so turned on, not by like the sexual nature, but by just like the like emotional, mature gayness of that. Because a lot of people who look at a gay marriage just think that a successful gay marriage is the most heteronormal version of a marriage, just two guys, right? But
Right.
you being in a marriage, your husband dealing with your OnlyFans.
And he lives in Minneapolis, but he just got a boyfriend, and that did not make me too happy.
Here I am saying why your marriage is so great, and you're like, we're actually not doing well.
Well, actually, we worked through it, and they're not technically boyfriends anymore.
What are they? Just fucking?
They are friends.
That always works.
Well, no, they're friends, but they're not allowed to hang out just by themselves. They're not allowed to go on solo dates. They can go on like group hangs or meet up to fuck.
And whose rule was that?
They made that up. I just
Oh.
told them I felt like it was too open ended, and I was like, it was the moment that hit me when my brother goes, "Is he gonna buy him like Christmas presents?" And I was like, "He fucking better not."
Wow.
If he was spending money on him, I feel like I'd be really pissed.
Do you? Oh wait, because I have heard on the pod that you what day of the week is your finance day?
Wednesdays.
That's why Colton's so happy on Tuesday.
So on Wednesdays you would find out
Yeah.
that the boyfriend was given a Tiffany ring.
Oh, I would be mad about way less than that.
What's the smallest dollar purchase you would be the most angry about?
A nice dinner,
Oh, okay.
like $200.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, "Fuck you."
So you're not poly.
Fuck you. That's
hate
almost
poly.
guns. Actually, that was the other thing that was pissing me off. I was like, I don't want to say I'm poly.
Just the title alone annoys you.
Right.
No, I get that.
Have you ever met someone poly that's also super cool?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna shout him out.
Okay.
He lives in Seattle, Washington, and I am not poly, but I am gay married, and we opened in the past like 3 years. So I'm still like treading the new waters, and I met up with this guy in Seattle who is married and he has a boyfriend. I did not know that until the end of our hangout as he revealed that they were poly. So he's the cool version of poly because I did not know he was.
Yeah, that is cool. Wait, how long were you guys closed before you opened it?
8 years.
Whoa.
So is poly like vegan? Like if you're poly, you have to talk about it. It's just like your
Yes.
whole personality.
I just don't know who has time for poly.
Same.
That's the thing. I'm like,
I just think it's like bullshit because they're like, I need more amorous love in my life, and it's like that's not really what you're doing, though, is it?
What does amorous mean?
Like actual.
I've
you know what
never
I'm
heard
talking
that
about?
word
Yeah.
ever in my life. Amorous.
Well,
beautiful name, but my daughter Amorous.
amorous, get out of there.
Yeah, that's a good name.
You
know
also
what?
seems like a precious stone. Like, oh, it's an amorous.
Yeah.
Your birthstone is June,
Amorous,
Amorous.
yeah.
I think also not to throw
don't accidentally
stones,
touch,
but I
sorry.
think that poly people are probably more emotionally able than the layman. I think like poly people who
For
actually do
sure.
it successfully can juggle more. They've got Google Calendars, and they also don't have a jealousy issue as much, especially with straight people. I know there are straight poly people, but like
That's what I was finding out, that like the openness of our relationship has made us ask each other questions that no one in a monogamous relationship would ever have to ask. You never have to be like, why do I feel so uncomfortable with this like detachment? I don't believe in God nor an afterlife. So why would I want him to have such a limited experience of life? But
how long have you
I don't
been
want
with
to
your
be
husband?
What?
How long have you guys been together?
2017. We've been
That's a
long
while.
time.
It's a long time.
Was it hard going from 8 years closed to open?
It was super organic, so it wasn't hard because we like were first in the pandemic, monogamous, but we were so deeply horny because we had nothing else to do except like be horny. And so we said, you know what? We're allowed to flirt via DM. Step 1.
Okay.
Step 2, we can send photos and videos.
Okay.
Step 3, let's have a
Anal.
threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also moved to a new city, and so we were like trying to like reinvent ourselves of like, okay, we're in a new place.
Let's fuck other people.
Let's fuck other fucking people. And so then we did. And you know what really happened is after our first threesome, we were like, oh my God, sex is not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, what are our rules? What will make us feel like good with each other? And so then we just made up our rules, and then it's been like, honestly,
Are you guys attracted to the same guys?
ooh, I love that question.
Because
Are
for
we?
threesomes, it can be so.
Threesome.
Yeah, what makes like the
Dynamics.
perfect unicorn?
By the way, it's the perfect threesome is like 0.1%. Like it rarely happens. It
Well,
feels
a
like.
good third is like an Olympic athlete. Like you have to train your whole life for it. You don't
Yeah.
even know you're training for
Yeah.
it. I think a good third is so good at like, you know, obviously catering to both. I think type wise though, I absolutely skew more daddy than my husband. He loves body hair.
Okay.
He's like he told me before we'd started dating, he was looking for a Brooklyn boy, which I found out was Jew. And he so like anytime a Jewish guy walks into a gay bar, I'm like, Matt, look. And he's like, l'chaim. But so he's more into like maybe hairy character actor, and I am more into like the guy that would beat me up in high school, or the guys who would go into my dad's pharmacy growing up that I would dream about at 8 years old, climbing up their suited bodies.
Yeah.
That's what I go for.
Like a finance bro.
Totally. If you Patagonia vest, glowing Clark. Sweetie, Denver is my favorite.
Yes.
Oh, Denver to me.
I hate Denver.
Denver
Well-
is lesbian Patagonia, not like.
Then
So
my
country
Denver
club.
experience is different. To me, it's
Country
Denver,
You
Seattle.
also said daddy.
Yeah. Do daddies not go to Denver?
I feel like daddies are in Denver and in Seattle.
Daddies are anywhere. I mean, any airport
Yeah.
is like. Do you ever get horny at airports?
I'm only I love an airport hang.
Do you do sniffies at the airport?
So we're scared of sniffies.
We're
We
scared
don't
of
I'm
do
too. I'm
sniffies.
too.
Yeah, but I did get my dick sucked at the Seattle airport by a flight attendant.
Seattle.
Yeah. And then afterwards, he texted me and goes, "Your gate just changed."
It's the best.
What airline?
I think it was Alaska.
Okay, and you met him on sniffies or no?
Grinder.
Okay, Grinder. And where in the airport did you receive?
He was like, "There's a downstairs bathroom that's under construction."
Flight attendants, I think, are a huge get to hook up with.
Yeah.
They see the world. They can choose from any amount of men. and they chose you.
I know.
Wait, did you? I know you give a good glug glug.
Yeah.
You
Thank
gave.
so much. Yeah. So I go through phases. Like right now, I'm really into letting guys suck my dick.
Oh.
Yes, and then there are sometimes where I'm just
That's
like,
such a crazy thing to say. Yeah, right now I'm like kind of just into getting blown.
I am, and then
No, that's not crazy to me.
No, I know, but like any straight guy would be like, yeah, I'm
fucking
always
course.
into
Yeah.
that.
yeah,
you
but
know?
sometimes you're just into giving.
Yeah,
But
okay,
like-
but that's crazy from a straight perspective.
Well,
No one's
listen
like,
to
I
the
just want to
straight
go out,
podcast.
eat pussy, and then go.
Really?
Well, it's like, yeah, you'll do it also. It's like, I like it, but it's not going to be just like, thank you,
What do you
appreciate
think
it.
percentage-wise of straight men that would only be happy eating pussy?
10%?
Not
5%?
zero. Not zero.
Not zero, but
That feels like a big 1 out of 10.
Do you have any straight listeners?
I don't think.
yeah, I think so. Wait,
If they had.
we have a lot of straight women.
If any straight men can chime in.
Do we have straight male?
I'm a straight
listeners?
No,
Hey,
I know.
hey, guys, pop in the comments.
If you're a straight male listener,
You know, I know all these women are telling you that your voice doesn't matter.
it matters.
It matters.
And we'd love to hear from. And actually, if you're a straight male listener, go ahead and message me on Instagram.
Your guys' obsession with sucking straight guys. I think I've come here to have an intervention.
Are you not into that?
No.
Why?
No.
If a guy's name is
No.
bisexual and he doesn't have a face picture, getting a message from me.
I just think like no, I was gonna say straight men deserve. They don't. If they should, you know what? If they have a girlfriend or a wife,
We will never have him on the podcast.
I
You
think
are-
that straight men deserve to be sucked if they want to be sucked by men. I think that I feel for any straight girlies that
Yeah.
don't know about it.
Yes.
But if it's like a very 2024, it's all in the open. And yeah, my husband wants to get blown by you. They deserve your skills.
I've been asking at shows, I'll be like, girls, would you be mad if I sucked your boyfriend's dick? and some of them are like, I literally don't care. And then some of them are like, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Well,
would
yeah.
all be
I just have
pissed.
never. I don't know. I think I've never been turned on by I'm gonna suck someone that actually I'd be afraid to be my Uber driver.
Oh, see, if I'm afraid that when they're my Uber
Wait,
driver
what?
and I'm afraid of them.
You know, like you get in an Uber as a gay person, and you're like and like maybe you're with a boyfriend or a husband. You're like, hopefully they don't get angry that I'm gay.
I've like hooked up in the back of Uber drivers while some straight guy's just like driving me back to his place, like blackout drunk, and I'm just like, yeah, this is fucking Portland, bitch.
Well, I will.
Wait, do you get a lot of that?
I mean, I
Have you ever got that?
Absolutely. I've been in an Uber where, like, if the station is like very
Eminem.
Jesus-y or like,
Yeah.
but also maybe it's my trauma of like growing up in Missouri where,
Yeah.
or like you'd be surprised. I lived in New York for a long time, and like you go outside of the city and like you're all of a sudden like, oh no,
In New
these are-
Jersey?
you go to New Jersey,
you go to New Jersey.
or
You
but
see Jimmy's mom. She's just like, you're a faggot, Jimmy.
I'd be honored if your mom called me a faggot.
She only calls it to me, so
Oh, that's sweet.
yeah,
I love her.
we spent the whole week in New Jersey, and I was definitely the gayest in her eyes of the whole trip.
Well,
so.
on the opposite token, while I personally don't like suck straight cock, I do love one of my favorite type of straight men is a Jimmy who is like very much chill, like able to hang with gays, doesn't make it a thing,
Yeah.
is also maybe in touch with their emotional side. Like that to me is the most amazing. And
Uses
I
words
also-
like amorous.
Yes.
might you drop amorous.
I also want to say I always like to clarification. I'm never sucking the straight guys like walking. I never meet guys like in the wild where I'm like, oh yeah, you want your cock sucked? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
always- It's guys on Grindr who are like, I'm straight, which just means like their voice doesn't sound gay and they're looking for head. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
What is that the hottest thing about a guy to you if he wants to get his dick sucked and he doesn't sound gay?
I do like it.
And what do you think that comes from?
Then I'm from small town Massachusetts, and I, you know, but I'm not against gay voice. I do. I mean, I love hooking up with gay guys too. But there is, you know, sometimes it's like I always say that being on Grindr is like watching porn. It's like sometimes you're really into what you watch, but you're like, I wouldn't necessarily want to do this in real life. Being on Grindr, you're just like looking for a specific thing that
Yeah.
isn't necessarily what you're attracted to all the time.
Right. And I feel like you are talking about maybe like liking a person. It sounds like you're a little bit more like
Oh.
emotional. I'm talking about what I like to have fun with.
Sure,
Like,
sure,
this is
sure,
just a
sure,
fun.
sure.
This is a fun thing, actually. And the thing about them being straight and married to a woman that doesn't know about it, they're not getting attached. They're not coming home with me. They're not. They're
I
not
can't-
falling in love.
And I can't fall in love with somebody who like doesn't want to talk about like Kirsten Dunst. You know what I mean? So it's like what do you want me to say? You know what I mean? Like I need a guy. So it's like a straight guy doesn't give a fuck about Kirsten
Right.
Dunst.
And also, I don't judge that you're sucking straight
Yeah.
cock. I think it's more like to me, it's like a porn category
Yeah.
and less IRL. But it's also, I haven't had the experience. I might come back in this podcast, if I'm lucky, in 5 fucking years and be like, all I do is suck straight married men.
It's gonna take you 5 years. Do it now.
I also
Slow
think
burn.
It's way easier younger, I think.
I've been thinking about this a
Younger,
lot
thank
because
you.
people keep asking me about it. And I also think that like in high school when I started watching porn, because I was so closeted and scared of being gay, and I was like, this is the phase, I only would watch the videos of straight men doing gay things. Because it was like, this is me too. You know what I mean? Like I'm also
Yeah.
straight and I am gonna do gay stuff. So I think that's the porn I like started with. And then it just like piqued my sexual interest and it's just kept going.
Funny at the young age, like 18, like when I was first coming out, so I was like 21. I'd be like, yeah, just because I'm gay doesn't mean I'm not just like you guys. Now I'm like, I'm not like you guys, and I'm having a fucking blast.
Now, have you ever thought about going to like a predominantly straight place and trying to hook up with someone? Like, remember when the RNC had the grinder, like
Oh, yeah.
literally crashed?
I'm such a pussy.
What's a straight place?
I would
a
think
UT
like the
football
RNC
game?
or UT football game.
Or
yeah.
the band I'm gonna go see on tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just like it's hard. I'm in person a pussy. Like a guy literally sometimes if a guy could be like flirting with me all night, I'd be like, all right, well, I have to go home. Like I have no idea that it's actually happening. So on Grindr, it's just nice because it's like, here are all the pictures. Here's exactly what I look like. Are you into this? Oh, you are. Great. Let's meet up. It's so much easier, but I have no idea how to do it in person.
What is your fantasy of what someone says to you in person to let you know they want to fuck or hook up?
He doesn't have one.
I don't even
Go
know
home.
what they would say.
But
You're the
you would
artist of a
say-
generation.
Your response would be, "You're literally crazy."
Yeah, I'd be like, stop it. I'd be like, you're being
You know,
insane.
I will affirm that it is very hard to make IRL hookups happen.
Yeah.
I think especially now because of the apps. Someone told me
And I
asked-
don't drink.
Oh, sure.
So,
I don't
yeah.
drink either. I do smoke weed, though. And when
Yeah.
I smoke weed, I can definitely be a much more flirty girl.
Yeah.
But someone said to me, I was like, how do you land even just a makeout? Because like you see all these gay guys going to bars. Like, I made out with 12 guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
how did you do that?
Yeah.
And apparently, you literally have to just be like, would it be okay if I kissed you?
I hate that.
Would it be okay?
What if we crazy
Well, the
question?
thing
What
is,
if you
I like
just
to-
kiss them?
The thing is, I like the type of man who'd have the confidence to do that to me, but I'm not gonna do it to them because I'm the boy. You know,
Well, I expect no
And I'm
less
the-
from you.
I like to get hunted.
Yeah, you're the huntee, but
And-
you
Well, I'm 6'5", so I think I have to be like, I'm gonna kiss you now.
I'm gonna bend over and kiss you.
the way you just said that though was really good.
What? I'm gonna kiss you now.
That was good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I did kiss a guy at the bar recently, but then I had to block him because he got all crazy.
Well, what does crazy mean? Too close?
No, like every time I hit him up, he would like there would be like an issue like we exchanged phone numbers one time, and then like a couple weeks later I saw he was on Grindr, so I just like messaged him on Grindr, and he was like, it's really fucking weird that you're messaging me on Grindr when you have my phone number. And I was like, oh, I just saw you. And so like every time there was like a little thing like that where it was like the way I was communicating with him, it like really annoyed him.
Oh.
And then I messaged him something and he gave me one of those responses again. And I go, you know what, honestly, I don't want to do this. Like, it seems like every time there's a situation there's an issue with the way I communicate. And then he started sending me these long things being like, you're so fucking insecure, blah, 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 blah. He's like, why don't you just block me on Grindr and I'll block you on here? It was like crazy. And I was like, I'm just going to block you. Yeah.
Would you have liked to just be hookup buddies, or was this something before the crazy you would have wanted to date maybe?
No. But like, he was fun. But like, I don't like when people, it's like every time it's like, we can't have fun. I literally said to him, I go, we don't know each other enough to be sending these kind of messages, which is a huge red flag for me. But yeah. And he was like, you're so insecure. I was like, what are you listening to my podcast? Like, you don't know me.
You don't know that for a fact.
Also, a guy messaged me on Grindr yesterday, a blank profile, and he was like, hey, what's up? He's like, you have any pictures? I was like, yeah, and I sent it to him. I immediately texted back, he goes, you're the podcast guy. And I was like, yeah.
Do you like that? Did it make you hard?
No, I hate that.
Oh.
Dylan literally had guys walk up to him and like say, hey, do you want to come out with us after
No,
a
they
show?
didn't say, do you want to come out with us? They were like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, we have like festival stuff. They're like, oh yeah, because we're all going to get drinks right now. And I was like, oh, we'll have fun. And then Jared Goldstein was like, you're crazy. And I was like, oh, I don't know.
What I mean, I get it because
He gave me the best piece of advice because they were like really hot, and I was like, oh, well, I don't want to hook up with them. I don't want to go. I don't want to like put myself out there because they're like really hot guys, and I have like a bad body. And he was like, he goes, okay, so let them tell you that. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, if you go out and you're about to hook up, and they're like, actually, this is like gross. He's like, you'll get over it. And I was like, oh, Jared, that's so smart.
I mean, I want to say that when I watch this podcast and you talk about your body, I'm like, you're like sitting here, this like hot guy. All of you are hot, but you're sitting here, this hot guy, and you're like, I don't want to do any of that because, and I'm like,
I realized I'm making the decision for other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I
I'm
think we
working
all
on
do that for many reasons. Like we all don't go to things or like don't. For example, my fucking podcast, I did not do for years and years because like no one gives a shit about me. I have nothing to say. And then I was so unemployed. I was so broke and sad during the pandemic that I was like, I have nothing else to do but this. And then it just happens. It's like we get in our own way. And I think that like you probably would have been not railed because you don't get railed. You would have railed those hot guys if you had wanted to.
I am going to get railed at some point.
I think you are too. Oh, I gotta tell you, I was you for a while.
Oh, really? Oh, you were top only?
Yes. My ex and I dated for 2 years. My first ever boyfriend, first love, head over heels, and he was a professional bottom. God bless.
Yeah. Professional bottom.
I mean, truly, just like a master at his craft. I, however, had never bottomed, and I was kind of like you, where I was like, I mean, I'm gay, but like, I like when you first come out, you're like, I'm
old me.
Old you. Well, yeah.
Clarify.
You could probably be teaching about bottoming, but I, from the top perspective who had never done it, did not have any experience until I dated my now husband, and I thought he was a bottom when we met. I am more of the hunter, he is more of the huntee, and so the first few weeks that we dated, I was like, I'm the top, you're the bottom. Great, this is perfect. And then I found out weeks in that his prior relationship was 5 years long, and he was not the BOTTOM. He was the top. And so I was like gagged. So I decided I need to learn. And it took me 3 years to be able to learn how to bottom that like was actually pleasurable. The first times I did it, I would cry. I mean, I'm insane. First of all, I would cry because I was like, I can't do it, and I'm being a bad partner to you. Like I was like fully insane.
And was that making you
I love
harder?
a victim.
You were like, yeah. No, it wasn't. It was not a turn on.
Oh.
It was bad because I just like it hurt. I didn't like it. I just like, and I felt like I was failing at, I don't know, being a partner, being gay, whatever. And
I love that you're talking like a mom who can't breastfeed. You're like, I'm failing as a woman.
yeah, literally. And like, I know the formula is not as good for the baby. So I ended up getting a butt plug to start.
Yeah.
And that, there's two unlockings that happen for me. Plug, bidet.
Yeah.
I don't have an ad partnership yet with this company, so I'm not going to say their name yet.
Yeah.
But this company, their bidet has changed my world.
My friend
agree.
Hannah has
Same.
a bidet.
Same.
My friend
Same.
Hannah has a bidet, and I went to her stay at her house, and I was like, "Can I use your bidet?" And she was like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
And I used it, and I was like, I literally was like, "This is the best feeling
Yeah.
I've ever had in my entire life."
Whenever
And
I
also-
travel
yeah.
without the bidet, devastated.
And also when now to the point where now I'm hooking up with random guys. Now when I'm looking at their like the dick size, I'm not going like, oh, that's too big. And I'm got the perfect butt plug for that. Stretch, making sure I'm ready for it.
Wow.
Colton did get me a butt plug that I haven't tried yet.
It is the smallest thing you've ever seen. It is like maybe half a pinky.
Well, that sounds like... I found that fingers up there at first for me.
Well, it's not a pinky shaped.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, anything small like that. Like, I think I said this recently on a podcast, but, like, when I was first young and, like, really just, like, horny and trying to figure out what I liked as a gay person, I put a razor, the handle of the razor,
Yeah.
up there, and it felt horrible.
Yeah.
Because it was, like, thin and, like,
Plastic and
plastic. But if the plug is, like, the right, you know... shape and small, you're in good hands. I think that's all you need. You just need to unlock your mind. It's all mental.
Yeah. I don't think it's having things up there that's the problem. I think it's the man in the room that I'm scared of.
you would be alone.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Are you worried about the man doing things to your hole that you are not ready for?
I just think it's so vulnerable, the bottom.
It is.
And
It is.
I just have never met someone that I feel like I can be open with like that.
Well, God bless.
Yeah.
And you will.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to
Yeah,
do
thank
that.
you
I
so
think what you're
much.
going to do is you're going to first like be like, oh my God, like he eats me out in a way that no one ever. Do you like getting eaten out?
No.
Okay, so that's going to be
actually-
step one.
I'll go like, why is he
He's
doing
gonna
that
be
to
like-
Dylan? Why is he doing that? Don't do that to my friend.
Wait, the first time that happened to me, I did scream full soprano belt. I was like shocked at what it felt like a tongue down there. It did
Yeah.
not feel good. But then once you relax, do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's other people are better than others,
Yeah.
which is weird. You wouldn't realize that, but I don't know what it is. Maybe just like some guys, their tongue feels like a cat's tongue,
Really?
dry.
dry,
Ooh.
and they go, "Yeah, you like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's so great."
I
They
will-
can't see my face; they're back there, so I was like, "Yeah."
Wait, I was
so
just
fucking
thinking about this the
sick.
other day. You know what's crazy is that like tell me if this happens to you. I feel like a lot of gay guys are very confident about their head giving ability, and I had a guy and then I feel like it's so scary to be confident as well because there's so many guys. Like I had a guy the other day suck my dick, and he was like, "You just lay there and let me work my magic," and then proceeded to give me like the most mid blowjob I've ever had in my entire life. And
What was mid about it?
it was just like he was in there. But you know when like it's almost more performative. They're almost like yeah, you're like no. I need you to like let's get this over.
Put your money where your mouth is.
yeah. And yeah.
Yeah, no, I've definitely had guys like, "Oh, I'm just gonna use your throat." I'm like, "Oh, okay, wow, that's real deep."
Yeah.
They've actually had guys that try to like push it past the throat, and I was like, I'll fucking try."
I had one guy who was so thick it couldn't even get past my throat. I go, "Honey, my tonsils are in."
I'm trying to get my tonsils removed.
Are you?
Just for this reason?
I keep getting
Strep throat.
I keep getting strep throat.
And you know what? No one believes us that it's from
No,
sucking
wait.
dick. No one believes us.
And I just want to issue a retraction. The apple cider vinegar does work.
Oh, 100%.
I used to do that.
Every time you suck dick, you have to gargle with apple cider vinegar.
and you don't get strep throat.
I do
You
not
will
get
not.
strep throat anymore.
It's like Doxypep, where it's like 80% effective.
I got a message from someone on the way here about his tonsils getting removed because I've been talking about this more and more because I got strep or got like tonsillitis and strep twice in the month of September. And I am not a good patient. When I'm sick, I'm depressed.
Oh.
I'm like worthless to the world. You know the whole thing they say about like men are the worst, like
Yeah.
patients or like I really just I feel like I've never accomplished anything and I never will. And it's like no, you have a cold. But I
And there's no like
yeah.
woman there to make you soup when you're gay. You know what
no,
I mean?
my husband's like, are you gonna pick up your prescription? I'm like,
no,
you are.
Yeah.
But I
So I live with lesbians. Every time I'm sick, they're like, "We went to the store." I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
brought
girls."
carrots. Do you want carrot soup?
yeah.
I have been talking about it, and this friend of mine messaged that he got his tonsils removed, and it's been a game changer.
Yeah.
But maybe apple cider vinegars. I'll do that, and then I'll go inpatient.
Yeah, you should. I think it would change your
I
life.
want to get mine removed.
You should.
Do we all have our tonsils in?
I have mine in, but they say it's like really like if you get it this age, it's like really the recovery sucks.
That's what they say. This person messaged me that it was only bad for a couple days, and then really it's annoying because you can't slurp out of a straw.
Yeah.
And
I don't mind that.
well, that's what I was like. I can eat that pudding like
Yeah, but
Oliver and
they
Company.
also have the new Starbucks cups have the little hole in top.
Oh, that's true.
Well, also
You can't drink coffee.
What?
If you get your tonsils removed, you're supposed to be eating like ice cream and shit, not like hot
You can have
bitter
a-
coffee.
Well, cold coffee.
Well, cold
Coffee's
brew,
cold
yeah,
now,
yeah, cold
Jimmy.
brew.
But it's still like I feel like it would irritate it.
But ice cream doesn't. I mean, what
Yeah, ice cream's-
American Dream? I mean,
All right, Jerry.
I had American Dream last night.
Oh, Ben and Jerry's. Oh wait, you are an ice cream person.
Yeah, but I have to go back to diet because it's getting crazy.
Sure.
Wait. So, like, do you and your husband still?
Are you in New York?
No,
LA. I was
That's
in New
okay,
York
yeah.
and then 3 years ago moved to LA.
Are you liking LA?
Loving LA.
And you're having fun with the boys?
Having so much fun. I think what's funny is that my life is weirdly gayer in LA than it was in New York. I know both cities have a big gay scene and all that. I think part of it was when I was in New York, I was like so used to my routine of like I went to college in New York and most of my friends were straight. I had some gay friends, but I was just like used to seeing the same 4 or 5 people. I was doing the same things. And I was also really like nervous about going outside of my comfort zone. And then I moved to LA and I was like, we're going to be open. I'm doing this podcast. I am going to go out more. And we're just
Where do you go?
we-
Dancing?
I mean,
You never go dancing.
We never go dancing.
I
would
never
love to
did.
go
I never
dancing.
went dancing in New York. Even I would for a little bit, like to the Hell's Kitchen places. But I live on the East Side in LA, so it's like West Hollywood has some great places, but the stereotype is true. I think there's like a lot of. It's very much like you need to look perfect.
Yeah.
You need to. If
But
you,
to me, it's crazy because it's not perfect. It's like way
No.
worse.
well,
it's way
that-
worse.
That, I think it's some people who are projecting that they need to look perfect and then they don't maybe work as much on the inside. Again, that's the stereotype. There are great places, and I've obviously friends that live there, but the East Side vibe is like, you can equate it to maybe the more Brooklyn energy of like,
Like Silver Lake.
yeah, I live right just by Silver Lake. So Akbar is a great gay bar. I've met some of my great friends at Akbar.
Yeah. Are you friends with James Adomian?
I went to his his taping like presentation, like he screened it for everyone. So I'm not good friends with him, but I went with my friend Zach Noe Towers, who was friends with him.
Love him.
And James' special was amazing. But they showed it at Akbar like 3 weeks ago. And it was so cool. It's just like I've like guested on shows at Akbar, and then there's High Tops, there's the Eagle. If you're feeling slutty, there's also down the street from my apartment. I've never been, but a good friend of mine is a huge fan of the Slammer Dungeon Sex Club. 30 seconds from my apartment.
Are you a sex club person?
I've no, I've only been to like one or two.
And do you hook up in steam rooms and saunas?
I love a steam room.
Do you? Do you?
I don't really do it as much anymore because I don't work out, but I do love when I was first coming to terms with like my horniness in New York.
Did you go to the Russian baths?
Oh, have you seen those videos?
Those videos are so funny.
Those are
dude.
amazing.
I'm like, I gotta go. I want to go to.
So I never did the Russian baths. In LA, what I do is I haven't been going as much.
By the way,
many
those
reasons.
videos only have like 1,300 likes on them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're getting 20,000 likes. So it's crazy that we're all
And we're
seeing
all
that.
like,
Those
Did you
videos
see
are
the-
so the guy you were talking about
Wait, were
the gay dudes that look like they just came
Or some
everything
straight
straight
about.
guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, straight guys are hooking up in the saunas and steam rooms.
It harkens to like the old like the Roman baths. Like there is something so hot about just like being naked. You know what it is? What I like about it is that you are leaning into the fantasy of when you were younger, of like being in the gym locker room, the YMCA, the Jewish Community Center,
Yeah.
and you are actually maybe with the eyes able to jerk or whatever.
Yeah.
And the fact that there's a chance to do that, obsessed.
Yeah.
Were you about to say crunch?
No, but I've absolutely jerked off in crunch before. In New York, I did that one.
Because
so
Selena S. Titties came on and told a story where she got arrested there.
God bless her.
Yeah.
Arrested?
By
Yeah.
a
See,
police
that's-
officer was pretending to be a gay man.
Don't tell me that. I mean, I don't do. Now I'm like
I know. I'm
afraid
a
of getting
fear-based
arrested.
person.
Well, my origin story is that when I was barely been a slut at all, but I was like deeply horny. It's the tale as old as time. I was like, I moved to New York. I was 19, 18 going to college, and I was told to be afraid of sex, and I was afraid of sex. I like sucked a bit, but I barely did anything. And then when I graduated from college, I tried to dip my toe a little bit into the slut world, and I went to an Equinox 1 week free guest pass because I couldn't afford it.
Exactly what you're talking about.
And I went from Equinox to Equinox to Equinox. And one of the first ones I went to, it was a very small steam room in Manhattan. I sit down, actually right where you guys are sitting, there's two like daddy-esque guys. This is like the proximity, maybe a little closer. And I literally did not think that I was going to hook up. I was just like, oh, this is kind of small. I sat down with my towel. I closed my eyes. I took a breath just to like relax. And that was all that they needed. Because when I opened my eyes, they were both jerking off, staring at me. And I did not jerk off. And so then what happened is barely touched them, but touched myself. After it ended, I got in the shower. In my mind, I started to do the math of how I just had gotten HIV. That's how insane I was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so when I maybe grazed his balls, then the HIV
And then the
is gonna
steam,
like,
and then the steam turned the cum
the
into
steam.
air.
Yeah, that's how afraid I was.
Yeah.
I was very. I did the Equinox in L.A. and the guy.
I haven't done that yet.
Well, the guy that's the gold guy that's like, hey guys, you got gold to sell me your gold. Here's my whole family. We want it, your gold. It was like a family man. But I walked in there, I just saw him just getting just the most dome, just like, and he just like looked at me. I remember like call gold 999 for gold. And I walked out. I ran.
Was it not a turn on for you?
No, it was, but I was scared of everything.
It's scary.
It is scary, but it's also there's something so exciting about just like the chance of it happening. And also there are people that are close to me who do not get off on that. It does not.
Yeah.
It's not a part of their. It's clearly something in my deep trauma of like the secrecy or the like. It's not allowed or whatever. But like there are Korean spas in LA that I went to, and it was like a drug. I was like. To my husband, was like, how often am I allowed to go? And he was like, not as often as you're going. And so then I like kind of backed off on that. But no, I think steam rooms can be just the fact that you can be there, not say a word, and also any of my insecurities about my body or whatever, like if they are down to clown, they are down to clown. And if they're not, they're not, and you move on. It's not like you don't have to deal with all of rejection. It's just like, are we gonna do it?
I know. That's crazy.
You know what I was thinking about? I wanted to tell you the other day. If you look at the women or the dudes, but like specifically the women that people thought were like the most hot women of the 90s, they were like wouldn't even get a second look today. I feel like a lot of them, just in the sense of like tastes change. You know what I mean? So like you want to be heroin skinny. And I don't think that's into
skinny.
People aren't into that anymore.
No, I don't want to be heroin skinny.
You do.
You do say that, though.
I do say that.
You said you want to be 180 pounds. You're 6'5".
Well, that's normal.
That's not normal. That's
Honestly,
like,
I do look at the weight on the stats, and I'm like, 160 pounds. Like, what are you gonna do to me?
100. Yeah. I don't want to be. I think 190 is fine.
190 is great.
you're crazy. No,
190 is
you
what
should
I'm
be.
at.
You should be like a solid, like a muscular, healthy 200.
I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
220.
right
Let's give
now
That's fine. That's what I want to be.
Some work to
220.
do.
I think right now is delicious and perfect. I think the thing about taste.
I don't like delicious.
I don't like delicious.
Sorry, I'll take it back. I'll say yummy. I'm kidding. Sorry, I forgot.
I was thinking
Yeah,
about
you
that
can't
though
say food
too.
words to him. He used to be 400 pounds.
You're right. I'll say
Satisfactory.
Satisfactory. It's fine. You don't listen. It's fine.
The thing though, I think that you maybe are dealing with that I absolutely have been dealing with or dealt with is like the taste changing goes with sure, is it weight? Is it body hair? Is it muscle? Whatever it is. Like I desperately hated having body hair the first 20 years of my life. Like I was so embarrassed. I would shave within hours of going to a pool. If my family was going to a pool and I didn't have time or like I would say I'm not going to go because I was so embarrassed to take my shirt off and have stubble or any sort of hair.
Yeah.
And I waxed my entire torso before I went on a spring break trip in high school. Like it was bad. And then I went to college and just like when I moved to LA and tried to like restart things, I was like, you know what? I'm going to not do that. And I'm just going to like cross my fingers. And one of the first guys I really wanted to hook up with, he was just like actually from Texas, really fucking hot. And I remember when we got naked and he like said something about my body hair that he liked it. It like, again, flipped a switch, changed something in my brain. And I was like, oh my God, am I not disgusting? And then I was like,
I think for me, it's like easier for me to live in the reality that like I'm disgusting and nobody wants to have sex with me than to actually put myself out there. So yeah, so to be like, actually, it's good. You know what I mean? It's
are you,
crazy.
is the fear underneath that like a deep fear of failure or rejection?
Yeah, it's yes, for sure.
I think that's what I'm dealing. Are you a therapy person?
No.
Okay, so I am
Wait, I was just telling someone this the other night.
You were
that
just
I went
yelling,
to-
just EMDR.
I was making fun of it, but I did go to therapy one time, and over the pandemic, I went to BetterHelp, and probably from some fucking podcast, and this guy, I go, you know what? I'm just not gonna lie. I'm just gonna say exactly how I feel about my body, and I told him, and he stopped me. He goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "Were you molested?" And then he goes, "You know what? Never mind. Don't answer that." And I.
By the way, use code. Some of this is about 20. Yeah, BetterHelp is not my first recommendation.
Yeah.
I've been such a therapy. Like I still am so fucked up. But without therapy, I would be like a complete mess. I was with the same therapist in New York for 7 years. When she told me she was retiring,
You died.
S-watch for sure. I walked out of the session like
S-watch.
fully crying.
That's so funny.
But I
Wait,
Wait,
so
is that
was it
real?
like She said, "I'm retiring immediately or eventually."
Well, good question.
Because it sounds like she dumped you. Is what?
So what she did was that some people said was not ethical. Is that she
Lied.
most therapists are supposed to give you like a pretty good lead time, right? And I think she gave me like 2 weeks. To her credit, she was 108. Like I did not know I did not know how old she was. In fact, a person had like my mom or someone was like, "Oh yeah," because said she was retiring. So how old is she? And I was like, I've been here with her for 7 years. I have no idea. So I said to her, I was like, "So Fran, my mom asked me how old you are, and I realized I didn't know." And she was like, "I'm 78." I was like, "Okay, you earned it, girl." Yeah. So like, she needed to retire, but she only gave me 2 weeks, and I like didn't, have. And
those were her last 2 weeks.
Her last words, really. No, she actually retired also while we were like planning our wedding, and so it was like a pretty fraught time. So I was like dealing with that. But no, but I think the first thing she helped me with was like the failure thing.
Wait. We definitely did there. You did go on S Watch because I've never heard that word before. And now I just made me think of S Club 7 in a whole.
I love
different
S
way.
Club 7. Oh my god.
Of course, love S Club 7. No, I was just like, I was deeply afraid of how I would function without it. And then,
can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Is S Club 7 an actual band or was it a TV show that
It was
the
both.
band? I know, but what came first, the TV show or the band?
The band, and then the TV show,
I think
then the
it
movie.
I think it was the TV show, then the band.
see,
No.
you are the
Like the
S Club
monkeys.
7 scholars. I don't know.
I lived in England at the time. I remember it.
They were not English, they were American.
Crazy. I thought that then.
Okay, go back to this.
Well,
You were
the
sad.
first thing was like, what my therapist like truly read me for filth when I first came in, because I'm a big spiraler, neurotic, like so fucking anxious. And I think I was spiraling about something, and she took a pause and she looked at me dead in the eyes and she was like, "So why all the drama?" And I was like,
Oh, my therapist does the same thing. I told I was explaining my fear about this one thing, and I was like talking about it, and it was like 3 minutes, and I kind of felt like pretty good. I was like, "Yeah, I explained that pretty good." And she goes, "Oh, that's because you have no self-worth." And I was like, I just started laughing. I was like, "It's not true. It's just you summed up 3 minutes of me ranting. It's just like a short, hurtful way."
I just don't know how like you go to therapy, and this is I think, and that you don't like sit down across with somebody and go like, "What?"
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
Like how? Like what do you want me to say? You want me to sit here and be like, "Oh, my sister's dead." You know what I mean? Like it's like
Dylan just becomes
is.
Goodwill Hunting.
yeah, that's how I feel. I'm like, what do you want to talk about, bitch? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do?
Well, you keep on bringing up your dead sister, so maybe you do need to talk about
Now
it.
that I'm fine with.
you have the opposite problem. You have the opposite problem of most people that go to therapy. Most people who like don't want to go to therapy are like, "I have nothing to talk about because I can't talk about anything because I have no ability to talk." You clearly can chat. The question is, can you talk about the actual things that are bothering you? And if you can't,
No, he cannot.
Then this is my prescription for you. Then what you do is and I can literally.
How is it not embarrassing?
He's
to
already
talk about
cutting
your
you off.
feelings?
You're gonna let him.
Here's what you do.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna. And I think. Okay. No, I think. What was your question?
No, your prescription.
Yeah, what's your prescription?
My prescription is that once we get off, I'm going to show you the website that I use to find therapists. It's so easy. And then the prescription
Sniffies.
It's sniffies.com. What you're going to do is find someone that like you probably want to be with a guy. I'm going to presume you probably want to be with you probably want to be with a straight guy actually. You're probably going to be with a straight guy. And then what you're going to do is make the appointment and then not make a plan about what the fuck you're talking about. What you're going to do is to say, "Okay, so this is my deal. I'm this person. I host this podcast. I do this thing. And this comes up." And then you will just start talking until it lands on something that is important. And then the next thing you know, you're going for 6 months and you start to feel better because you're getting underneath the stuff.
Yeah.
You
I've
do
been
not
feeling
okay.
a lot worse lately, though.
Good. That means you're going through something real. And
Yeah, but they're digging it up, and I was like, I buried that for a reason.
well, that's the thing is like you need to unbury the shit, even though in the moment the thing
I've been saying, I go, take your emotions, lock them in the door.
Yeah,
Right.
why do we need to unbury
I
them?
know,
If
lock
they're
us
married,
up, walk
leave
away.
them
45
married.
years old, you're gonna have a wife and children, you're gonna leave them, and then you're gonna murder someone.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you bottle it up.
That's
Sorry. You're gonna have, like, I think that the bottling of it up is like, I come from a lot of repressed men.
Yeah.
And I'm also dating a Catholic man, which is like all repression. So like, I can see what happens when the explosion happens. To your point though, and to your credit about like when it feels shitty, here's what I'm dealing with. I am going through like a lot of my shit is like fear of failure, of like, why would, like the thing I said about the podcast, why would anybody give a shit about me because I'm a piece of shit? I still go through that now, but I'm dealing with those feelings coming up. The problem is I'm smoking too much weed when the feelings come up too hard, too hurtfully. And so like that's my current cross to bear is like, how can I be in it?
And I'm drinking too much, but he told me that if on I can't say. If you guys want to know about what happens,
if you go join the Patreon, you can't. We're not going to give you everything away. But okay, two things. One, me and my brother have the exact same thing. My brother, I was home and he goes, "You know what's crazy?" He goes, "I love who I am as a person." He goes, "I just hate my body." I go, "Taylor, me too." You know,
and
that's it.
You are gonna probably find out in therapy the certain villain origin stories.
But my question is like, how do you not feel? And not like I think you should, but I feel so embarrassed to even say how I feel. You know what I mean? To like actually like it's
what's so embarrassing? What's humiliating?
It's to like feel anything
less than perfect or like not strong.
Like or like I even think like having feelings for someone is embarrassing.
You know what?
Which is just so embarrassing to say because you will openly talk about witchcraft.
Yeah, well, that's real.
You know what? My answer to that is that this is what my therapist would say, or any therapist would say. What if it is embarrassing? What if it is embarrassing? Who cares? It's embarrassing. You know what's embarrassing? Sucking dick. That's embarrassing.
That's really cool.
Do you know what's embarrassing? Having sex.
Is it?
Yeah. If you like were
Really?
to like not be horny and in a room with people fucking, you'd be like, that is so weird.
That's true.
Like that. Like when you're in it, it's trust me, it's weird. Fucking is weird. Sex is weird. Dating is weird. Falling in love is all embarrassing and humiliating and awful. But it's a part of the human experience, and I think
You're bringing a lot of sex shame. Okay.
well, I'm saying I'm trying to actually like opposite of shame of like if sex is embarrassing, I think sex can't like in its form it's like two bodies just like okay, my mouth is going. It's like all just like kind of like weird. Of course, it feels great. Fucking love sex. Love to suck. Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
However, I think the feelings thing is just as embarrassing as anything else that we do. And what I'm trying to do, like my like rebellion, my therapy rebellion is that I'm so tired of like the people older than us who.
Hello?
Oh, hey Max, how you doing? We got 6 minutes.
Thank you.
That's what I got to count down. And actually,
Yeah, talk about something.
I'm
embarrassed by the people who don't go to therapy, and then we watch them do the fucked up shit instead of dealing with it.
Right.
Yeah.
If you see anyone angry, you're just like, wow, that's
Literally
so funny to me.
deal with it.
Yeah.
I'm so that's why I.
But we do only have 2 segments on the show.
Okay, I
we're gonna
had
take
one more
quickly.
thing. So it's
please.
like whenever you people are talking about that, it's like
you
oh,
people?
You people.
No.
He
like
means you,
thera-
faggot.
No, I mean like
Is
therapy
your mom in the room with us?
people. Therapy people. They're like, oh my god, you're gonna be better off. It kind of makes me think of like when you watch a Hallmark movie and there's the person that's like the super successful, super rich corporate lawyer, and then he gets in touch with his feelings and he opens a pumpkin patch. Like the second part of the life seems much shittier than the first part.
Where you have to know where your values are.
Yeah, I don't want to open a pumpkin patch.
I don't know. I just stayed in a really,
especially
really nice...
Dylan. Dylan always says the same thing. He's like, I'm the artist of my generation. I'm going to be the most famous stand-up comedian that's ever lived. Like,
Yeah, I'm the next Shane Gillis.
you can't do that when you have connected with your
You
feelings.
should hear his Asian accent. It's really good.
But you know what I mean? I don't know. Am I
I
crazy?
actually could be so happy opening up a Christmas tree farm.
You're doing the black and white thing though, where it's like you're either the asshole at the beginning or you own a pumpkin patch. Like God forbid you can wear a suit and have a good relationship with your children. Like God forbid. Like I think that's what it is. I think it's not one or the other.
I agree. I'm gonna go to therapy. I'm like, once I have money, I'm really gonna go to therapy in a crazy way.
I can't wait.
I want to be a famous person who's just kind of like, actually, like, I started going to therapy. You know what I mean? And talking
No,
about
Dylan's
it.
going to become Ellen DeGeneres. He's going to
I'm
become
like,
an absolute monster.
I'm nice to everybody.
Wait, I don't want to. Let's get to the segment. We got to do a segment.
We're running
We only
out of
have
time.
we only have 2 segments.
Right.
And the first segment is,
Do you have any questions for us?
My question for you is how long have you been in therapy?
A very long time. My mom's a therapist. It's actually, I was talking to my sister today. She goes, I can't go to therapy. It's triggering.
Well, yeah, I do think that a lot of therapists can be more fucked up than other people just because.
Yeah.
Fuck up
And
people
she
become
said
therapists.
sorry. I made her.
Oh.
Not my sister. She refuses.
Well,
She says I still owe her apology because that's step 1. No, that's step 4 in the 12-step program. She said you went to rehab and you never apologized to me. She's funny. We're doing funny stuff.
she sounds hilarious. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And my question for you is, when you suck dick and someone were to ask you what is the best part of your technique, what would you say?
Ooh.
I have a guess.
Okay, what do you think it is?
The work ethic.
I do. As I always say, I'm giving head like I'm, a slave. I like it's really
Eye contact.
No, I'm like doing the work. I don't have time. To be like, do you like that? It's like no.
You give it no other choice but to like it.
Yeah. Like you're gonna be like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Probably. I feel like suction and tongue and yeah. I actually kind of think sometimes going all the way down the throat is kind of cliche. I think it's not what everybody really wants.
No, the shape of a throat.
It's like this. It's gonna fucking bend your dick.
Yeah.
And trust, I'm sure we've all felt the bend.
Yeah. It's not great. So yeah, I think it's the tongue and the suction.
Yeah. So I guess
And the
that just
constant work.
Yeah, the constant work.
Yeah.
And practice.
Practice. That's perfect. Yeah.
So I guess the last segment.
Last segment. It's our famous segment, which is
if you were a gay man, would you rather have sex with me or Dylan?
You guys know I am gay.
yeah. But
Either way.
Would I rather have sex? I don't think I've really thought too much. I'm topping you and I'm taking your throat for a spin. That's what I'm doing.
You can only
You
choose,
can only choose
one.
one.
Are you kidding?
no, just one.
When are you gonna get to both?
Okay, if I can only choose one.
Is the question.
Podcast. That's
what
why
the
it
question
makes it
was.
hard. Or everybody would say both.
It's stupid because my podcast has a question, and whenever people waffle, I'm like, you didn't prepare, and here I am. Okay, I say that.
Well, we didn't prepare either. It's kind of our whole thing.
I think that I'm very much in a top era right now, so I'm fucking Colton.
We love it.
Okay.
Well,
I just want to let you know, I don't cuddle, so that'll be very nice.
And I didn't think you would.
Oh, great.
Well, thank you so much for doing the podcast. Do you want to plug anything? You have a great podcast yourself.
Well, I am so thrilled to be here because I truly am obsessed with this podcast.
Thank
Obsessed
you.
with Jimmy. Your producing is amazing. You all are so funny. My podcast is called That's a Gay Ass Podcast. It is on YouTube and all the listening places. And you can follow at Gay Ass Podcast.
Hell
Thanks
yeah.
for having me.
Thank you for coming.
So glad
And
got
I
to
was a
be
fan
here.
of his podcast for years before he came on, so this is very exciting.
He DM'd me before the pandemic.
Yeah. And I was like, when's the podcast coming back?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I knew that you listened to it before, but you saw the pause.
Yeah.
Wow. And did you remember him?
No, I told him immediately when I saw him.
Oh, okay.
I genuinely remember receiving messages like that, but
It's a great podcast.
I had no idea that was the fact that was you. Like, truly, I am a big fan, truly, of all of you.
You're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.